Welcome aboard, folks. Here we are on the 14th, in the middle of the month already of September. Hope you all are doing good, and life is good for you, and things are going well for you and your families. I know they're not going so well for our fighting men and women overseas right now. They're having a lot of problems in the Middle East, and we're losing men. We lost 2 Marines today. We had a guy on the internet spouting off, kill all soldiers. If you can believe that, they finally got him off. It's just, it's undescribable of what's going on. And here we have supposedly elite Marines going to Yemen. Now, what that means, folks, I don't know. Does that mean we're going to be in another war? Who knows? But they're sending the best of the best. They're sending the best of this country's got to offer, and these men go freely, honorably to do their duty. But what really is their duty? I don't know. I mean, because of our passionate attachment towards Israel, everybody in the Middle East hates us. They just hate our guts. And I do have to say this before I start my monologue, is that thank you, President Obama, for not kowtowing to Benjamin Netanyahu with all the orders he gave you. After all, you are the President of the United States of America, the most powerful nation on earth, the most giving nation on this earth, the most caring nation on this earth. And it's my privilege to live in this great country. It's my privilege to talk about the great people that serve this country. So let's remember our men and women that are fighting overseas right now, and may God bless them, and may they be safe and healthy and come home as soon as possible. I would hope tomorrow. Thanks, folks, again for listening to Your Voice Counts. It just means the world to me. It really does, and especially on this great radio station, RBN. Real news, real talk, real people, because you can't handle the truth. And if you can't handle the truth, stick around and listen to this show and other shows in RBN, and you'll learn about the truth, because we don't mix words here, and we don't try to start any fights or anything like that, and we don't cuss or anything like that. There may be a H word or a BS word or something like that slips out every now and again, but that is just the way it happens sometimes. So that's one of the reasons that I'm glad to be on RBN, and I certainly do appreciate it. And I always open my show up with a dedication to the crew of my fallen shipmates that died that day. Very young men that didn't have the chance to live as we have. Folks, we'll be right back. Remember, support your sponsors on RBN, greatest radio station on this network and around the world. So please support them, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Don't answer it! How can I stop these annoying collection calls?
Imagine being free from your debt without settling, and with no payment plan, no negotiating or filing bankruptcy, and no attorneys. What if you could eliminate the risk from all your unsecured debt in about 90 days and keep all your money? You can. It's called Zero Debt Guarantee, and it works. There's no other program of its kind on the planet, and we guarantee the results in writing. Call now, 800-477-9256. Let our team of experts provide you with the resources to fight back, stop collection calls, and prevent and stop wage garnishments and bank levies. If you're facing foreclosure, we can help. Don't go it alone. Get free information now by calling 800-477-9256. Talk to an expert who has also completed our program. Call 800-477-9256 for free info, or go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. That's 800-477-9256, or go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com.
If you would like to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself from anything out of balance concerning cardiovascular or diabetic circulation problems, then this might be the most important ad you'll ever hear. It is possible to acquire a 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation, which works. It is extremely effective and starts to work within days. For a long and healthy life, order today by calling 866-295-5305. 866-295-5305. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Order online at heartandbody.com. That's heartandbody.com.
As many of you know, natural supplements are fantastic for your body and have zero side effects. You need to restore your body's natural balance. TerraVim strives to carry only the highest quality dietary supplements and natural vitamins that can be beneficial in helping your body recover from the impact of daily stress, allergens, illness, environmental pollution, and the aging process. Why buy from TerraVim? Simple. TerraVim provides a rewards program. Earn $1 for every $10 spent, free health consultations, free shipping on all orders, and an additional 10% discount on every order when you mention the coupon code RBN. Call 866-647-4372. That's 866-647-4372, or go to terravim.com. That's TerraVim.com. TerraVim, the best supplements on earth.
They said that Israeli forces knew not of the Liberty's true identity, and so they took advantage of the serenity. They attacked the silent ship, making a 40-foot hole in the starboard, killing 34 and wounding almost 200 more. They're just sending down merciless napalm to look like a devil's Star Wars. And the Liberty fell like a wounded and dying lamb. The men and the lives betrayed, and their souls were surely damned. And all the fear and the death and the pain will never depart me.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks, for hanging on, and I do appreciate it very, very much. And I will leave or start off again with why I do this show. And you know, I've been haunted for 45 years, and I truly mean this, folks. I've been haunted by what happened June 8, 1967 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Sinai in international waters, when 34 of my brothers were slaughtered, and 174 others were wounded, including myself. And those murders by the hands of Israel, our ally, our supposed ally, have been and are in vain. The wounding of over 100, well, at least 174 others have been in vain. Folks, I know you've heard this before, but it just needs repeating. There were over 850 cannon rocket holes in our ship. Can you imagine that? This is an old Victory World War II ship. It was a cargo ship, and they turned it into a spy ship. By the way, one of the most sophisticated spy ships in the world at that time, but 850 cannon rocket holes, napalm burning us up, over 5,000 armor-piercing bullets in her side, a 40 by 40 foot hole in her starboard side, shot by three boats that the United States government bought, and every bullet, every piece of powder, every torpedo was bought and paid for by the United States government. And that 40 by 40 foot hole slaughtered 34 of my shipmates in an instant. It blew them to bits. Yes, their lives have been taken in vain. And that's my job, is to make sure that their lives have not been taken in vain. They are somebody. They are people. They have parents. They have brothers, sisters, and sons and daughters. And they deserve all the recognition that this country can give them. Forget about me. Forget about everybody else. So let's not forget those 34 men that have died since then, in that day, and the men that have died since then from wounds, self-inflicted wounds, alcoholism, drug abuse, you name it. This crew has been through it. But we're trying to stick together and make sure that the American people never has to go through this again. Ever go through this again. And folks, you know, another thing that is so despicable in my mind is we only had 3 life rafts left. We were going to put our most severely wounded in them, to at least to try to save their lives, because we had no idea that the Israeli torpedo boats were going to shoot them out of the water. Yeah, they shot our life rafts out of the water. Now, we had a crew of 294. We had enough life rafts for every soul aboard that ship. We only had 3 left. And they wouldn't even let us put our most seriously wounded in them to try to save their lives when the captain said, abandon ship. They shot 2 of them out of the water and took 1 of them aboard their boats, I guess as a trophy as slaughtering their American allies, their benefactors, the people that give them their money, the people that protect their backs. And I'm talking about our Congress, our presidents. They've held this despicable, disgraceful, dishonorable, ugly truth for the last 45 years and covered up for a state that committed war on the United States of America, and they committed war crimes unspeakable. So unspeakable I can't even talk about them on the radio show, because I would just choke up if you would have seen what I saw that day. They sent helicopters to finish the job of killing us all. For some reason, thank God, the gig was up. It was all over the world that they knew who was attacking us, Israel. And we got it out. We got a message out. The United States Navy never sent help to us, because it was called back by the President of the United States and McNamara and John McCain Jr., Senator McCain's father from the state of Arizona. His dad would not come help us. His dad denied aircraft coming to our help. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. These war crimes against America and this war cast upon America 45 years ago continues on to this day. For the crew of the USS Liberty, And it should continue on in the minds of America, because if they did it once, they'll do it again. Anybody that can get by with cold-blooded murder of murdering Americans on the high seas, doing what the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the National Security Agency told us to do, needs to be held accountable, folks, because it can happen to you, and it can happen to your sons and daughters and your grandsons. Look at the Middle East and what's going on right now, folks. We are in such terrible, terrible shape. We're flat busted. We're going off a cliff right now in debt. We're going off a cliff right now in wars. Are we going to start another war in Yemen? All for the benefit of Israel? With sorrow. We had an ambassador killed several days ago. With sorrow, with deep sorrow. And I mean that sincerely. But with deep sorrow, this ambassador wasn't on the front lines every day. He wasn't eating meals ready to eat. He wasn't over there eating sand every day. But that doesn't make his life any more important than anybody else's. And my regrets to his family, his friends, and to our country. Folks, there's a special, just so many special people that do this show, that helped me get this show on the air, and a special thank you to Kat. I had the pleasure of talking to Kat just before the show came on. What a special, special woman she is, and her great husband, Kat Faber, and her husband Rick, for getting such, fine guests on Your Voice Counts, my radio show. And I thank you, Kat, deeply for your beautiful, beautiful, heartfelt USS Liberty tribute songs to the crew. It means so much to so many, and I can't thank you enough. And I also want to thank your dad for coming out of surgery, getting his old pumper fixed, and he's looking good, and he's taking care of himself, and I believe he's 88 or 89, something like that, I believe Kat told me, and he's doing fine, and so God bless him for that, and we certainly appreciate it. And we know that his wife, Helen, is just in glee for that, taking good care of her husband, and it's so nice they can be together in their later years and be happy and have such great children as Kat and her sister and a great son-in-law as Rick that helps out so much. I just want to make that clear, that these people are so special in my life that it makes me very, very happy to know them. Also a very other special person, and that has been a friend and a shipmate of mine for many, many years, is John Gadesco. And John's wife, Helen, is still recovering from her foot. And hopefully she's going to be up and around, and I bet old John puts her to work, because I don't think he likes to do the laundry too much, but he'll keep on doing it as long as it takes, and takes good care of his family, and he also takes care of the USS Liberty. So, folks, if you want to go to one of the finest websites you're ever going to find anywhere on the Internet, just go to tinyurl.com/USS Liberty. Now, don't go to any other site. Go to this one, tinyurl.com/USS Liberty. Best site on the Internet. Folks, we got another break coming up, and then I'm going to kind of finish my monologue here, but support your sponsors on RBN. They're the ones that keep us going, and thank you for joining in. Feel free to call if you'd like to talk about our topics tonight. Ron Kukal will be with us along with Phil Restino. Go ahead, and we'll see you in just a minute, folks. Thank you.
How would you like to own land? A refuge to escape from big cities, possible food shortages, the collapse of the dollar, or just a vacation trip is now available to you. Lots of fishing and hunting are available just across the Rio Grande River. Own your personal Colorado Wilderness RV lot within 3 stones throw of the Rio Grande River for $1,395. Quarter-acre lots, county road access. All lots come with warranty deed. all just for $1,395. Call 785-672-3141, 785-672-3141, or go online to ColoradoRiverLots.com for more information and to see photos. It is away from civilization, a good business investment, and a low-cost protection plan. Call today, 785-672-3141.
Meet Jerry D.
Hi.
Jerry and his family, like you, are very concerned about world conditions and have gathered many emergency preparedness items, including turtle tough shelters.
We have added 2 24-foot turtle tufts to our supplies and feel very secure knowing our large family is ready for whatever the future may bring.
Turtle tough shelters are not tents. They are permanent yet portable 4-season geodesic frame shelters that are as strong as a cabin at a fraction of the cost and are easy to set up, take down, and move anywhere. Available in 2 sizes. Get your Turtle Tough shelter and accessories included at TurtleToughShelters.com. That's Turtle, T-U-F-F Shelters.com. Or call 801-623-3288. That's 801-623-3288. Or see them online at TurtleToughShelters.com. Turtle Tough Shelters, your all-season home away from home.
Hey there, my name is Frank Bates. What I'm about to tell you in the next 60 seconds could get me in a lot of trouble. I just created a free video presentation at 123crooks.com that exposes the electricity monopolies and government agencies for what they really are. Incompetent, lying crooks that are counting on your ignorance and fear to keep your power bills criminally high. Some have called this a conspiracy. Others have called it a cover-up. And you'll be shocked to find out how deep the conspiracy goes. My video at 123crooks.com exposes the truth and shows you the secret of how I beat them and how you can beat them too. Watch the controversial video that thousands of other smart patriots have already seen in the last 3 months. Go to 123crooks.com and discover one weird trick to slash your power bill and protect your home. Go watch my video now at 123crooks.com before they force me to shut it down. 123crooks.com.
The time has finally come.
Welcome back, folks. I hate to cut Kat's song, quickly off there, but we have some important guests on the line, and I apologize, Kat, because your voice is so beautiful and what you've done, and God bless you, and you know I mean that, and I wouldn't take that song off for anything, not unless it was extremely important. And I'm going to say this, folks. Thank you, RBN. Thank you, John Statmiller, for giving me and the crew of the USS Liberty a voice we've never had before, a voice that tells about the mass murders that took place June 8, 1967 at the hands of Israel. And even more frightening, folks, is the cover-up by our own government. So, folks, if you got a few bucks, go to republicbroadcasting.org, republicbroadcasting.org. They have a pledge drive going, and send them a few bucks. Let's keep this great, fine radio show going. And also, I want to close with saying thank you, Devin. He's our board operator. He's working the show tonight. And, Devin, thank you for a job well done. This is the 3rd show you've done, and I'm very impressed with your expertise, and I appreciate that very much. And if we could bring both Ron Kukal up and Ernie Gallo, I'd appreciate it. Welcome aboard, shipmates.
Hey, thank you, Phil.
Yes, thanks, Phil.
Yeah.
Well, good, fellas. Yes, thank you for calling in, and I really, really, certainly appreciate it. And I appreciate your service and what you've done, and I have not had a chance, Ernie, to get to Jesse's video. Is that correct?
Yeah, right.
And I will do that this evening, but I've been gone all day, and I haven't seen it. And I wanted to, again, thank you both for coming on. And first of all, Ernie, let's start with you. Why did you call in tonight, and what's on your mind on your voice counts?
For two reasons. Well, one, that Ron asked me to think about it, and the other reason is that this is such a dangerous time for our country, and all those sailors that are aboard those ships. It's so easy to have a black flag operation now and draw us into this, into anything in the Middle East.
I agree 100%, and that's what I'm afraid of too, because we're living proof of that. And God gave us the voice, and God gave us the challenge to hopefully prevent this from happening. Ron, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know what I think about that, Phil? I've been saying it for close to 45 years as a former chaplain for the Liberty Veterans Association. I do believe that God saved the Liberty on that day. I really don't care what anybody thinks when I say it, because I know it's true. I never have in my whole life ever seen the miracles that happened that day that kept us afloat. And even to this day, after 45 years, we're still afloat. Thanks to a lot of people. We're getting involved in a lot of things that we haven't been involved in before. I think the word is getting out there a lot more than it has in the past. And it's a far cry, is it not, Phil, from Little Bighorn, Wyoming, over 40-some years ago.
It is a far cry. When we were there with a book and 8 or 9 wonderful old ladies that listened to our story, and that was very, very refreshing, and that was the first time I ever spoke out in public about the USS Liberty. But I wanted to get back to Ernie and this, I believe it's an 18-minute video. Ernie, explain how that came about, please.
Jesse De La Poncion in Hawaii. I have been talking to him over the years, and he's been a Liberty supporter. Jesse wanted to do something special with the TV media in Hawaii. So since I have the copyrights of Dead in the Water, he asked me if he could do something with that movie to shorten it. And, well, I got to thinking about it, and I said, you know, Jesse, I also have a pamphlet. If somehow the marriage could come together between what you're doing and my pamphlet, that would be great. So he did a masterful job of snipping and snipping at the movie and putting together so that the words of my pamphlet would come together with the segments within Dead in the Water. And it turned out to be really great. And I sent a copy over to John Godesco, who's a genius when it comes to electronics, and he managed to put the video on his website. So you were very on the mark by mentioning his website. I hope this video, this 18-minute video.
Ernie, excuse me, shipmate. Hang on, guys, don't go anywhere. We got a break. Folks, support your sponsors on RBN. Real news, real talk, real people, because you can't handle the truth. Thank you. We'll be right back with Your Voice Counts.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
Are you concerned about fluoride, chlorine, parasites, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Dalton ceramic water filters have been made continuously since 1827 and are used by disaster relief organizations and in third world countries to supply safe drinking water. Not only do we offer gravity filter systems, but also under-the-sink and countertop systems. Our replacement filters can be used to upgrade your existing system. And unlike some other filters on the market, Dolton filters do not have to be primed. For more information, call us at 800-696-1435, 800-696-1435, or order online at Dolton.com. That's DOULTON.com.
Herbal Healer Academy's new summer specials. Our 500 parts per million colloidal silver, all sizes on sale. Organic liquid iodine, liquid cal, mag, vitamin D, CoQ10 with hawthorn, colon enhancer, Super 2, natural laxative, our exceptional product Connexin, memory power, and Super Male and Femplex. All on sale for the summer at herbalhealer.com. Also, 10% off on the HHA survival course. This is an important time to have this information. Might save your life. Nation's leader in supplying quality natural medicine and education. herbalhealer.com. Free online newsletter. Quality natural medicine supplier since 1988. We ship the same day you place your order. Free 128-page catalog with your first order. Go to herbalhealer.com today. herbalhealer.com.
American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
Well, finally, the officials back to Washington sent out a message that the ship moved farther out to sea.
Welcome back, folks. Here we go to Your Voice Counts. And I certainly appreciate Kat's beautiful, beautiful voice and her tribute to our songs. And folks, before I ask these two gentlemen any more questions, two shipmates that lived through a nightmare, a living hell, you have to understand about something about these two guys, these two shipmates that have fought for years and years and years. Both of them are communication technicians, which means that they worked at the highest levels of the United States government for the National Security Agency. What they did, I don't know, and they've never told me. It's none of my business. And they wouldn't tell you now, even if you put a hot iron on their face. That's just the type of people they are. But they will stand up for what's right, and they will tell the truth. And they will tell it the way it's supposed to be told. They lived it. Both of these fellows are very, very lucky to be on the phone tonight. Oh, actually, we're all lucky in one way or another that we didn't get killed. So I have two of the most trusted men on one of the most sophisticated spy ships in the world in 1967 on Your Voice Counts, trying to get the truth out and make it right with the world. And gentlemen, my thoughts are this. If the truth about the USS Liberty would come out in its full entirety, we have a shot at saving many, many lives. What are your thoughts? Who wants to come up first?
Go ahead, Ernie. I'll listen to you first.
I was going to defer to you, Ron. God bless you.
I'll take it. I'll take it for a little bit here. Yes, we don't need a carbon copy of what happened on June 8th, 1967, when we were within a few minutes, to my estimation, of World War III. Secondly, Phil, I want to thank you, because you're always thanking everybody else. I want to thank you for once, for this time, for bringing up who Ernie and I were, and how our trustworthiness in the United States government. The reason I bring that up again is because I want to thank you for saying it, so I didn't have to, because sometimes it sounds like I'm blowing my own horn. But tonight, I read on Facebook that Eileen Fleming was in the company of about 2 congressmen and a couple senators, and she brought up the USS Liberty. And one of them said, in essence, that why do you have to bring up this old history? Well, we're bringing up this old history because it hasn't been resolved. And it hasn't been resolved because you people in Congress will not listen. And if you don't listen to us soon, you are going to put us back in World War III. Now, what more can I say, Phil? I mean, they don't want to listen to some of the most trusted people that worked in the United States government. Yeah, it was over 40-some years ago, but we haven't changed, have we, Ernie? I don't think we have.
No, the Liberty story is a microcosm to a much bigger issue that exists in our country. And we represent a thorn in Congress's side, and it's one that they have a very difficult time coming to grips with. And that simply is that they know that if they dare investigate the Liberty or say anything in our favor, that they run the risk of APAC coming down on them, cutting off any funding that they may supply them, and providing that money to their opponent, so they're never reelected again. That's the kind of discipline or rhetoric that we're up against.
Okay, I listened to both of you guys, and I understand exactly where you're coming from, because I just happen to believe exactly as you both do, because we've been through this so many times, and we've tried, we've written letters, we've been on radio shows, we've been on TV, we've done this, we've done that, and it is like taking a rubber hammer to the Rock of Gibraltar and trying to break it down. It's just not going to happen because of the power that AIPAC, ADL, ICE, and Israel has over our elected congresspeople and our elected presidents since JFK, when JFK said that nuclear weapons would not be easily handed over to Israel, and we all know what happened to John Fitzgerald Kennedy. So with us as a small group of men that saw chaos and murder and mayhem and deceit and lies in our lifetime, is this going to bring us down? Is this going to be the last step? Is this going to be Armageddon? Is this going to be Netanyahu's revenge against the United States because of Obama refused to meet with his demands or even meet with him personally in Washington, D.C.? Either one of you or both of you can take up that subject, please.
Well, Obama has showed some courage here that I've never seen before that's coming from him. And I got to say that I have not been what you'd call a real Obama fan, but I will give him this much credit. He has shown some courage. He's shown some strength that our forefathers have shown for many, many years. the presidents before him who never backed down from anything. And, well, that probably did happen, but there was a lot of strength, a lot of presidents who, when they made a stand, they made one. And it's a little bit of a turnaround for him, and I got to tell you, it surprised me. I'll turn it over to Ernie now.
Like yourself, I have a lot of criticism about President Obama's economic policy, especially reading a number of books and understanding how this country ticks a little bit. There's a lot he could have done a lot of things better. But, yes, he has shown tremendous backbone. And given his Muslim background and his Christian background, I can see his dilemma of rather than pussyfoot around with the Palestinian issue, getting in Netanyahu's face and letting him know that he realizes what's going on and enough's enough, and that fair is fair, and Netanyahu and the rest of, or I should say the Israeli supporters in our Congress, would have nothing but support for Netanyahu rather than the president. So I don't blame him for not wanting to talk to Netanyahu, given what happened the last time he was here, embarrassing him in front of the press. He's the president of the United States, and he should have never done that. And then for Congress then to have standing ovations for this Zionist who would, how can I put it, stick it in our face, and for anything that Israel wants or needs to do.
Ernie, when you brought up anything that Israel needs to do, it's very clear in my mind, and it's not so clear in so many other people's minds, that because Israel is, quote unquote, day after day, minute after minute, thought of as a perfect and great and wonderful ally of the United States of America. Well, Rachel Corrie just had a trial in Israel, and they found that the IDF couldn't see her, and all the footage and everything else on this tank made in America by Caterpillar. It had guns on it. It had, a tank-type weapon on it, and you could see the visual of this courageous young woman being mowed over. But how many other people have been mowed over? The Palestinians have been mowed over day after day. They steal their trees. They steal their sacred olive trees. And then we go to the USS Liberty in 1967, and our government sends no rescue aircraft. They leave us out there. They tell us not to say anything. They wish we would have sunk and gone away. And, of course, the footprint in the Middle East would have been all America and all Israel, or perhaps just all Israel. So with our little voices and what we're still trying to do either one of you or both of you, do you see any light at the end of the tunnel?
One thing I'm afraid of, Phil, and I've thought about it over and over and over again, is on June 8, 1967, we dealt with Russia. If this happens again, we're not only going to be dealing with Russia, we're going to be dealing with China. And God only knows how much money we owe them. So where do we think we're going with this? I got to tell you, I'm pretty much down on the Congress, because common sense is not a part of their thinking, as near as I can tell. So where are we going to go with this? Are we going to go ahead and, as usual, ignore the people that have seen this, ignore the people that know exactly what's going to happen again, and most specifically, ignore those that were trusted the most back in those days? I leave it up to you on that one.
I pray that someday our country sees the light of day, that we got to return to our original values. And will that happen? If history is any judge, we've got to go through something very terrible for us to finally realize it. But the one thing this country does have is that we do come around, but it may take some very terrible event in order for that to happen. That is why, if I have any opportunity to reach a ship that's leaving to go to Mayport, for me to tell the skipper to watch his back around the Israeli Defense Forces, because there isn't an American politician who'll stand up for that skipper, and that he should do whatever he has to do to stay safe around them. When they attacked us, they were sending a message to the United States in no uncertain terms to get out of the way when they feel that their security is threatened and that they need to do something. And that's my fear. You know, President Obama tells his Navy to stand down, not to wage war against the Iranians or whatever, and then the Israelis feel that we're in their way. God help us. That and you know, they're smart enough where with their Mossad they could plan a black flag operation. That's why I mentioned it earlier, so that it makes it look like the Iranians attacked us first to draw us into the war. God help us, and everybody. I hope everybody in our listening audience will pray as hard as they can that there's resolution, and that somehow or another the rest of America can see through this.
Ernie, very well thought out is Ron's comments. But I'm wondering, shipmates, in your mind, and you know, this is just my view, that in 1967, I think our fate was sealed months before we left Norfolk, Virginia, and John Godusco pushed us away with his right foot, I believe, and we were on our way because of the fact that help was never sent to us. They didn't care about us. We didn't get even help till 18 hours later, as you both know, in the carnage and the suffering and the hurt and the death and the agony aboard our great ship, USS Liberty. I hate to think that our government was part of that, but I just can't get that out of my mind. They must have been in order not to have anybody come help us. Your thoughts, please.
I want the cold hard facts put in front of me on this one, Phil. I don't blame you for what you're thinking and what you feel about it. I don't blame you one bit. There's some things that bother me. For example, we ended up having to sail the Liberty 1,000 miles to Malta for repairs. It's always bothered me for a long time when places like, I think, Crete were closer, a lot of closer places, and it has bothered me for a long time why they would send us that many miles, because as one of the fellows, Larry Broyles, told me, he said there was no doubt in his mind that ship was going to go down. It wasn't a maybe. That's what he told me. He was down there. He was doing shoring up from the USS Davis. He said there was no doubt. Nobody said maybe this ship will go down. It will go down if we don't get it shored up. I don't know how many people in high places knew that, but 1,000 miles is a long ways to send anybody when they're that badly damaged. Your thoughts?
Go ahead, Ernie.
Well, I really believe that, especially after talking to my friend that works at the White House, he was a historian at the time, that it was Murphy's Law operating at its best. And stupidity at the White House. Where I'm coming from is the NSA told the Joint Chiefs to get the ship moved 100 miles off the shore.
Hang on,
we
Ernie.
know that.
Hang on, Ernie. We got another break coming up. Folks, support your friends and good people at RBN, Real News, Real Talk, Real People, because you can't handle the truth. Thank you for listening to Your Voice Counts. We'll be right back. Two very, very special people. Thank you.
If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Men, women, children, even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed with 4 of the most nutria-dense algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus, memory, clarity, and mood. If you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity and is safe for you and your family. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com, spelled BIOAGE.com, BioAge.com, or call 877-288-9116. That's 877-288-9116. BioAge, the age of advanced organics.
I never thought I would experience what I have by being on the RNA drops. Since I started the drops, I've gotten married, started 3 businesses, and feel limitless. My name is Brandon, and I've always been a skeptic because one of my companies is an investment firm, so we look at the facts. I was presented a bottle of RNA drops without any documentation in 2010 and began taking them due to highly reliable sources and their recommendations, and things quickly progressed. My life seemed brighter. And then one day it happened. I was working in my office on a sunny morning and my spiritual body did a 360-degree backflip and softly landed back in my chair. And that was the day it began. That was my bread of life. To view this patented product, go to freernanow.com. That's freernanow.com and begin your ascension process. God bless.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
They said that Israeli forces knew not of the liberty's true identity, and so they took advantage of the serenity. They attacked the silent ship, making a 40-foot hole in the starboard, killing 34 and wounding almost 200 more.
Here we go to Your Voice Counts on Republic Broadcasting Network, and I would like to. We got a few minutes left here before the end of the first hour, and then we got Phil Restino coming on. But I want either one of you to, close the show, the first hour, with your thoughts. And folks, I've had a lot of Jewish people on this radio station, and this isn't picking on Jews. This isn't picking on anybody. This is getting the truth out. And our government has lied. Our Congress has lied, and our presidents have lied about what's going on with the USS Liberty. And again, we're fighting an uphill battle, but we've done that before. And And these two great guys here, Ernie was former president of the Liberty Veterans Association, among other things, and Ron is the chaplain of the USS Liberty Veterans Association, in my view, and always will be. So whoever wants to take off first, please go ahead.
Well, I want to thank you, Phil, first of all. I've always said, as long as I can remember on this, and I like to make it very apparent to the listening audience, that we have not done anything to cause any kind of problems with the Jewish people. There's no racism on here that I know of, and we have had Jewish people on. We've had CIA operatives. We've had former congressmen, former senators, former Senator Adlai Stevenson, who told it like it was. We've had Cynthia McKinney. I'm not sure if she was on, but she was active at the time, and she knows what can happen when you make a move to tell the truth about all this. So, Phil, there ain't nobody that I know of, not anybody that can say and point their finger that we are this or that of any kind. And as Dr. James Dobson said years back, there's good and bad in all people. I think we all believe that. So that'll be my final statement tonight. I do have to beg off here right after this hour's over with. My apologies to Phil Restino. If I can get back on in another 20 minutes or so, I'll do that.
Okay, thanks, Ron. I appreciate it. And, Ernie, if you could tell a quick story about the Navy League, I'd appreciate it in Florida.
Well, things are okay now, but in the past, I was a member of the St. Augustine Navy League, and I was kicked out because I refused to lie about the Israelis deliberately attacking the USS Liberty. And so there's people out there that, especially if they're in power, they're going to use their power to sequester or to marginalize anyone who's negative towards Israel. So I beg our listeners that please spread the word about what happened to us and that the attack was deliberate, and that the Zionists in Israel, I don't want to see Israel wiped off the face of the earth or anything like that, but the Zionists in Israel are taking the country down the wrong road, and that they need to remember that the Palestinians are human too, and they have a right to exist, and that our listeners, when you do that, you run the risk of someone coming at you viciously because they want to believe that Israel is our most trusted ally, and we shouldn't say anything negative about them.
Okay, thank you, Ernie. God bless both you guys for coming on the show. Both tremendous shipmates, very brave men. They've not only given their life and their blood and their money to this cause. We're in it, not just for ourselves. We're in it for America. So thank you both for being on Your Voice Counts.
Well, the time has finally come for the story to be told that should have been listened to a long time ago. In 1967,
get that dog out of here, would you, please?
On the 8th day of June came the attack of the Liberty and the needless loss of many of the crew. And the Liberty fell like a wounded, dying man. The men in the life betrayed, and their souls were surely damned. And all the fear and the death and the pain will never depart me. I'll hear the bomb again. I'll hear the bomb again.
Welcome back,
Not of the liberties
folks.
to identity.
On Republic Broadcasting Network. Folks, this is a station that you need to tell your friends and neighbors about, your mom and pop, all your brothers and sisters, cousins, and aunts and uncles, because this is where you want to find out the truth in this country. I'll tell you that. This is a radio station that has, gone above and beyond the call of duty. And I appreciate that very, very much. And we have a guest that's going to be coming up. His name is Phil Restino. And, Phil has been on this show before. A great guy and a patriot that you just can't believe. Phil Restino, peacetime veteran, having served a 2-year enlistment in the U.S. Army Infantry, is co-chair and founding member of the Central Florida chapter of Veterans for Peace and a member of Military Families Speak Peace and Justice Through Nonviolence since 1985. The Central Florida chapter covers from Greater Orlando east to Greater Melbourne to North Greater Jacksonville. For more information, go to his website, and I'm sure that Phil will get that to you when we get him on air. And I believe he's on air now. I hope he is. Interesting. Phil, that number C is still not working. I wonder why. Would you, if you don't mind, would you please try that again, Devin, and then we'll go from there. And yep, that's the right number that you have. I'll type in one more time just to make sure. But we want to get Phil on. This is very important. Okay, and another thing, folks, think about, what is going to happen in the next few months when we elect the same president or a new president of the United States of America. So,
That the ship moved farther out to sea. There were too many errors and too much time wasted. The bombs were coming down. It would be too late for liberty.
If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Men, women, children, even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed with 4 of the most nutrient-dense algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus, memory, clarity, and mood. If you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity and is safe for you and your family. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com, spelled BIOAGE.com, BioAge.com, or call 877-288-9116. That's 877-288-9116. BioAge, the age of advanced organics.
How would you like to own land? A refuge to escape from big cities, possible food shortages, the collapse of the dollar, or just a vacation trip is now available to you. Lots of fishing and hunting are available just across the Rio Grande River. Own your personal Colorado Wilderness RV lot within 3 stones throw of the Rio Grande River for $1,395. Quarter-acre lots, county road access, All lots come with warranty deed. All just for $1,395. Call 785-672-3141. 785-672-3141. Or go online to ColoradoRiverLots.com for more information and to see photos. It is away from civilization, a good business investment, and a low-cost protection plan. Call today, 785-672-3141.
I never thought I would experience what I have by being on the RNA drops. Since I started the drops, I've gotten married, started 3 businesses, and feel limitless. My name is Brandon, and I've always been a skeptic because one of my companies is an investment firm, so we look at the facts. I was presented a bottle of RNA drops without any documentation in 2010 and began taking them due to highly reliable sources and their recommendations, and things quickly progressed. My life seemed brighter, and then one day it happened. I was working in my office on a sunny morning, and my spiritual body did a 360-degree backflip and softly landed back in my chair. And that was the day it began. That was my bread of life. To view this patented product, go to freernanow.com. That's freernanow.com and begin your ascension process. God bless.
That the ship moved farther out to sea. There were too many errors and too much time wasted. The bombs were coming down. It would be too late.
Welcome back, folks. Here we go to Your Voice Counts, and I wanted to, just before I bring Phil up, and I already read your wonderful bio, Phil, and I just want to thank you again for being on the show, but I wanted to clarify one thing that this beautiful voice on our air, Kat Faber, said that the ship was ordered out farther to sea. Well, perhaps we were, but being the most sophisticated spy ship in the world, how come we were the only persons, the 294 souls aboard that ship that didn't get that message? Very strange. Very, very strange. It's almost like Casper the Ghost jumped in there somewhere. But anyway, Phil, thank you for being on the show, and thank you for what you do, and thank you for being a veteran and Veterans for Peace, and welcome back on Your Voice Counts on this great radio station, RBN.
Oh, thank you, Phil. It's a treat to be on, and I've been looking forward to this.
Well, I'm
back
glad.
on the show with you.
I have too. You do great things, and if you could just go ahead and let people know what you do in the great state of Florida and around the country, and how do you try to educate people and get them, up to speed on the truth and what's going on and what you're doing and what the USS Liberty is doing? Because actually we're hand in hand. We're just kind of clones.
Sure. Well, I'm as you mentioned earlier, I'm a peacetime veteran. I didn't do much in my time in. I'm doing more now for my country than I ever did in uniform. But I, like you, consider the oath a lifetime agreement, the oath of enlistment. And what got me involved, Phil, was the build-up to the war on Iraq. I just couldn't get over how surreal that was, and 48 hours or get out of town, that kind of stuff. And I took notice. And here's another thing: I didn't have a job. I was unemployed, so I had time to learn about the internet and learn that there's alternative news out there. And I really didn't know I was being misled as much as we are being misled by the idiot box in the living room. And the newspapers and such. So that got me out against the wars, but it wasn't until 2005 when the Downing Street memo broke, and which was a document that the Brits, Blair's top people, had leaked. And what they had done was they met with Bush's top people here in the States a year before the invasion of Iraq in July of 2002, and they had conspired to tell the British and the American people that there were that there were weapons of mass destruction and we'd be under imminent threat of attack, and the media just sold it, man, and the people bought it. But this was smoking gun proof. It was an actual document released from the high level of the Brits, and it barely made it in the news here in the States. But we found out about it because of the alternative media, and that was in May of 2005. And shortly after that, I saw a demonstration on the internet. They were having the basement hearings in Congress with John Conyers, and they had Cindy Sheehan, Ray McGovern, a few other people. Colonel Ann Wright was there, who had just resigned her from the State Department in protest of the Iraq War, and it was called. They were going over the Downing Street memo. And after that, there was a rally outside, an impeachment rally, and this fellow, Mike Ferner of Veterans for Peace, got up there and basically, you know, he said that as Americans we have a responsibility, but as veterans we have a duty to impeach this criminal president, you know, for these illegal wars of aggression. And when I saw that, I just was blown away. I said, who are these guys? They're, you know, these guys are veterans. They've already served, and here they are answering the call again and really taking it on. And so I looked them up, and I asked if I could join because I was not a war veteran, and they said any veteran can join. And then I asked if there was a chapter in Central Florida, and they said, no, you need to get 10 people, and then you can start a chapter. That's why when you read off the the area of coverage, it takes up about a quarter of the state of Florida, because we had to find 10 people. And we're still few and far between, but we're consistent. We're consistently out on a corner in Daytona Beach every Thursday night for 7 years now, handing out DVDs and flyers and in these packets. And one of the flyers is the pamphlet on the story of the USS Liberty that I got from Ernie Gallo a couple of years ago. So every Thursday night, 60 people get that pamphlet on the USS Liberty. And we've done other things regarding the Liberty. A few years ago, you had me on your show on The Ugly Truth because we were showing the film here in Daytona Beach, Loss of Liberty. And we've been trying to get the word out ever since. And this last time, the 45th anniversary back in June, what James Morris did out there at that Memorial Day event with McCain, that really, I think, broke through a lot for this, the cause of seeking justice for the USS Liberty. Boy, I just gave you an earful there. I'm sorry, but I joined Veterans for Peace in 2005 and have been with them ever since. Our chapter in Central Florida, when Obama took office, the Democrat, and 3 days into office starts bombing Pakistan, a country Bush hadn't even gotten to yet. One of our members, Tom Santoni, up in St. Augustine, wrote an article called Impeach Obama. And we thought that was some of us were naive. We thought Veterans for Peace would apply the same standard to the Democrat. After all, they're supposedly nonpartisan. But over the years, Phil, I've learned that a lot of these national organizations are beholden to one political party or another, and definitely funding has something to do with it. I don't know if that's the case with Veterans for Peace, but we had to initiate another resolution calling for the impeachment of Obama for the same war crimes. And when I brought it up to the convention in 2009, I was almost run out of there, for crying out loud. They would have nothing of it. And then in 2010, it failed again, and our chapter, my co-chair of the chapter, resigned, sent a written resignation in the Veterans for Peace in protest of them not applying the same standard to the Democrat. And then finally in 2011, last year, it did pass at the National Convention, and the leadership and the anti-war movement as a whole has kept a very tight lid on that. They haven't allowed the word to get out that the National Veterans Anti-War Organization that's been around since 1985, Veterans for Peace, passed a resolution at its national convention in August 2011 calling for the Congress to impeach Obama for the very same war crimes they were screaming from the rooftops calling for when it was a Republican, Bush. So that's a lot of our members feel quit our chapter of Veterans for Peace because of the hypocrisy and the double standards. But because I happen to be the chapter coordinator, I couldn't quit, and I think it's been a good service to stay in the fight, even more so, and try to make these organizations hold up to what they advertise themselves to be. It's kind of like our responsibility as citizens with the government itself. If they're a government there to serve the people, it's up to the people to keep an eye on them. So I feel the same way as far as Veterans for Peace. Why don't you just give it up, Phil? I said, no. This is all the more reason to stay involved. So that's not quite a short version of my background there. I hope you're still there listening, Phil.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and we have many other people listening too, and
yeah,
and Phil, it is you talked and you said several things that kind of piqued my interest. Is both sides, and listen, we got a break coming up, Phil, so it's a pretty good time for that. So we'll get back on the other side. Stay tuned, folks, to RBN. Support your sponsors, and don't forget to pledge drive. Republic Broadcasting Network, they can use the funds to keep this great radio station going. We'll talk to you in just a few minutes. Thank you. God bless.
An effective 100% organic nutritional supplement is now available to be shipped out to you rush delivery. Heart and Body Extract is a 100% natural, organic, and wild-crafted formula made out of garlic, hawthorn berries, hawthorn leaves, coleus, motherwort, bilberry, butcher's broom kelp, mistletoe, ginger, and cayenne pepper. It is an excellent formula designed to balance and support the heart and circulatory system. It is extremely effective and starts to work within days. Order your 2-month supply by visiting heartandbody.com or by calling 866-295-5305. 866-295-5305. Take the high road to a long and happy life. Heartandbody.com.
As many of you know, natural supplements are fantastic for your body and have zero side effects. You need to restore your body's natural balance. TerraVim strives to carry only the highest quality dietary supplements and natural vitamins that can be beneficial in helping your body recover from the impact of daily stress, allergens, illness, environmental pollution, and the aging process. Why buy from TerraVim? Simple. TerraVim provides a rewards program. Earn $1 for every $10 spent, free health consultations, free shipping on all orders, and an additional 10% discount on every order when you mention the coupon code RBN. Call 866-647-4372. That's 866-647-4372, or go to terravim.com. That's TerraVim.com. TerraVim, the best supplements on Earth.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
A healthy heart starts with Extendovite. I've always believed that I had to have a strong defense to overcome the new superbugs of today. Extendovite, a 7-herb heart protection cocktail, not only helped me to overcome a massive heart attack, but it also has built up my natural immune defenses against colds and flus. Extendovite has so many benefits that we all should be taking Extendovite to build up our defenses for what superbugs might emerge yet. So start today, clean out the toxins, and be as healthy as you can be. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
They said that Israeli forces knew not of the Liberty's true identity, and so they took advantage of the serenity. They attacked the silent ship, making a 40-foot hole in the starboard, killing 34 and wounding almost 200 more. They're just sending down merciless napalm. It looked like a devil's Star Wars, and the Liberty fell like a wounded and dying lamb. The men and the lives betrayed, and their souls were surely damned.
Welcome, folks. Thanks a lot for hanging on. I appreciate it very, very much. And Phil, you know, I was thinking when you were talking and about, you know, impeaching Obama and then impeaching, of course, Bush before him. But, you know, with the way our political system is and how it is so intertwined with AIPAC and ADL and ICE and every other organization that supports the state of Israel over the wishes and the lives and the blood and the wealth of our great country, you would be, you know, very, very hard pressed to get a school board member impeached if AIPAC was behind him. So my thought for saying that is that it is, we're fighting a worthy cause. You know, when we took that oath to protect the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I'll ask you, as I asked my last two guests, Ernie Gallo and, of course, Ron Kukal, former shipmates aboard the USS Liberty, how do we overcome that?
Well, I think that's why we have to, and again, it's about calling for impeachment, Phil. And hi to Ernie and Ron, if you guys are still listening. Ernie's a friend of ours here in central northeast Florida, and you know, we've done events with him in the past, and so glad to have him close by, and we hope to do more in the future. But this is the misconception. I think we've been very conditioned to not take a step at a time. You see, as you just illustrated, Phil, our representative government has long since been taken from us by the the organizations you just mentioned, and others of influence. So we have to start with the people coming together to take it back, and we have to draw the line. These are wars of aggression. The anti-war people made the case and set the precedent, Phil, in calling for the impeachment of the Republican president who launched wars based on lies. You know, did the same thing that the Allies sentenced and hung the Nazis for at Nuremberg. Okay, we're the ones who set the standard. So if the left, if the anti-war people simply applied the same standard and took the partisan politics out of it, you know, then it would be about the crime. And one of the concerns about the left for not applying the same standard of impeachment of the Democrat is they said, well, we don't want to be associated with the right-wing racist groups that only want to impeach him because he's a black man or he's a Marxist or whatever the heck it is. And so the people don't come together. It's still a partisan issue. We've got to break the partisanship. We've got to make it about the crime and it's got to be about what we do, Phil. It's, you know, there's a bumper sticker that says it's not them. I've seen that sticker on cars. And it's not about what Congress will or will not do. It's not about the odds of getting struck by lightning are better than these criminals in Washington impeaching one of their own. It's about what we the people do. And this is an opportunity right here. We have got a Democrat president that is more of a warmonger than George Bush, the Republican. I mean, it's undeniable that his crimes warrant the same call for impeachment. And I blame the continuing of war, the NDAA, the renewal of the Patriot Act, everything that's happened since Obama's taken office and all the blood that's been spilled. I blame all that blood on the so-called progressives and hypocritical left for not applying the same standard to the Democrat.
Well, you know, I happen to agree with you 99.99% on just what you said, Phil. But, you know, when we get into the issue, we'll be right back, and then we got a long run coming up. Phil, I apologize, but we'll get right back to you. So, folks, support your sponsors on RBN, and remember, you know, this is a radio station that wants to get the truth out. So, you know, if you got a few bucks, send it in. They have a pledge drive going. See you in a few minutes.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
Don't answer it! How can I stop these annoying collection calls?
Imagine being free from your debt without settling and with no payment plan, no negotiating or filing bankruptcy, and no attorneys. What if you could eliminate the risk from all your unsecured debt in about 90 days and keep all your money? You can. It's called Zero Debt Guarantee, and it works. There's no other program of its kind on the planet, and we guarantee the results in writing. Call now, 800-477-9256. Let our team of experts provide you with the resources to fight back, stop collection calls, and prevent and stop wage garnishments and bank levies. If you're facing foreclosure, we can help. Don't go it alone. Get free information now by calling 800-477-9256. Talk to an expert who has also completed our program. Call 800-477-9256 for free info, or go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. That's 800-477-9256, or go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com.
Are you prepared? Are you ready? You should be. CampingSurvival.com is your source for for camping supplies, survival gear, and survival food. Whether you are an emergency preparedness-minded individual interested in MRE and colloidal silver, a hardcore hiker in need of paracord, a water filter system, and fire piston, or just need a basic first aid kit or emergency kit for the family, CampingSurvival.com is the right place. Call CampingSurvival.com today. Toll free 800-537-1339. CampingSurvival.com. It's not about the end of the world. It's not about surviving a hypothetical plane crash. It's about the satisfaction you get knowing you can take care of yourself and or your family in any situation, anytime, anywhere. Call now. 800-537-1339.
Meet Jerry D.
Hi.
Jerry and his family, like you, are very concerned about world conditions and have gathered many emergency preparedness items, including Turtle Tough shelters.
We have added 2 24-foot turtle tufts to our supplies and feel very secure knowing our large family is ready for whatever the future may bring.
Turtle Tough shelters are not tents. They are permanent yet portable 4-season geodesic frame shelters that are as strong as a cabin at a fraction of the cost and are easy to set up, take down, and move anywhere. Available in 2 sizes. Get your Turtle Tough shelter and accessories included at TurtleToughShelters.com. That's Turtle, T-U-F-F Shelters.com, or call 801-623-3288. That's 801-623-3288. Or see them online at TurtleToughShelters.com. Turtle Tough Shelters, your all-season home away from home.
Well, the time has finally come for the story to be told that should have been listened to a long time ago. In 1967, on the 8th day of June, came the attack of the Liberty and the needless loss of many of the crew.
Welcome back, folks. Here we go to Your Voice Counts. We got about a 16, 17-minute run here, and I wanted to let folks know before we get back to Phil, and we have a caller on the line, frequent caller, and we want to get him up. But folks, I wrote a book, and I think I sent one to you, What I Saw That Day, Phil, and I want to let people know how to get it. Just go to 888-698-8706. 888-698-8706. Tell them you heard it on the greatest broadcasting network in America, Republic Broadcasting Network, and you'll get a discount. And what I wanted to say, Phil, before we bring up our guest, call in her, please, is that the odds are so overwhelming against us with even 25% of the American public saying, "Hey, we're not going to fall for this baloney anymore. We're not going to do this." The other 75% is going to call you Jew haters, Nazis, Holocaust deniers, and on and on and on. Just to get the truth out about what's going on in the Middle East and what's been going on since 1948. And let's get a quick comment from you, Phil, and then we'll take our caller, if you don't mind, please.
Sure. And please, folks listening, if you haven't gotten Phil's book, What I Saw That Day, please do. And I tried to get it in our public library, and I didn't, but I can try again. But thank you for sending it too. And please support this alternative media. We've got to support it. Even if it's what you'd pay for a cup of Starbucks coffee, send it in. Every bit counts. As far as what you just said, Phil, again, I need to emphasize, our representative government has long since been hijacked from us. And the only way we're going to get back, and the first step that we have to take, is to get past this political partisanship of the two parties. As long as the people are divided in you know, you call into C-SPAN in the morning, there's a Republican line, a Democrat line, an independent. You don't think that's by design?
Why couldn't it be just an American line?
There you go, because they don't want us talking with each other. Because if we do, we're going to find out that, hey, the other side's not the enemy. We're getting screwed by the same folks. They don't want us talking with each other. And so that's, again, that's the importance of the left applying the same standard of making a call. Again, this is about what we do or don't do. Forget about it never happening. It's about us being consistent, and we've got to take it back. And the first step that we have to overcome is this partisanship. We got to step out of this left-right divide. And there have been good examples of Occupy groups coming together with Tea Party groups to take on certain issues. And once you start coming together, you realize we have a lot more in common, and we're all getting screwed. So that's what I have to say to you, what you just put out there, Phil.
Well, I listen, I happen to agree with you. We're all getting screwed. And, you know, we're all getting our money taken from us, taxes or whatever. But you mentioned a person earlier in the program, James Morris, what he did on Memorial Day of last year. And
it was huge. Huge.
Yeah, it was huge. And I believe James is online now. And sorry for keeping you online so long, James. But if you're still there, please go ahead.
Still here. I listened when my good friend Phil Restino was on the phone. I had to call in, and also Ernie Gallo. I had the honor of being invited to the Liberty reunion about 6 years ago when I was taking my vote down to Florida, and I couldn't make it as much as I wanted to. And I'll always remember Ernie for inviting me to attend that at Arlington. It was an honor. He sent me a invitation, and I still have that, and I really appreciated it. And I couldn't agree with him more. I want to touch on some points with Phil as well. And Phil, thanks for bringing up what I did with John McCain. It was actually earlier this year, Memorial Day 2012, and I wanted to give Phil the good news that YouTube that he and I are both in, that our good friend Tom Murphy over at Representative Press, the YouTube channel, you can go to it at youtube.com/Representative Press. He's got a YouTube up there that he made of my confronting McCain on Memorial Day, and it just reached 20,000 views the day before yesterday, so it should be at 21,000 views before long. Now, you know, compared to how many people are on the internet, that's really nothing, but still, 20,000 is better than nothing, and Phil is on there, and it was an honor to have him on there as well. I think it really added to that video. I just wish Phil was there for me a couple weeks later when I was able to pretty much do the same thing with the Armed Services Chair, Buck McKeon. I'd walked 2 miles in a parade on July 4th, and I caught up with the guy, and I called Phil, and he wasn't there. But anyway, we can't, like I said last week, we can't do it, you know, can't pull it off twice, I guess. We almost could have. But anyway, what I wanted to get to is, Phil, just what you were saying at the beginning of the program, and then I want to address some points with Phil Restino, like I mentioned earlier. Those Marines that are being sent to the embassies are actually, they're not going there for war necessarily. They're special Marine teams that are deployed at sea in close proximity to those areas in the Middle East, and they're going to be there to basically provide defense for the embassies, so to speak, or protection. So they're not really going there as, you know, listen, I'm not trying to discount what you're saying. We may very well be going to war with Syria and Iran for Israel and these other countries next as well. In fact, Yemen and, you know, the Al-Qaeda branch in Yemen attacks us because of our support for Israel. We saw that with the underwater bomber when he did what he did, and he was in court saying it's for what we supported with Israel doing what it did to Gaza right before Obama got in office. And of course that goes unreported for the most part in our media, but it's the root cause is Israel as usual. But anyway, what I wanted to say is those Marines are going there to give embassy and consulate protection. But who knows where it's going to go after that. Ernie Gallo's point in the last hour was very relevant. He was very concerned about any U.S. ships that are heading to sea, especially particularly the Persian Gulf. And if you go to my USHijacked.com blog, there's a post over there. There are 3 aircraft carriers that are going to be in the Fifth Fleet area, the command area, Persian Gulf, compromising that, of course, or including that in that. And that's the USS Stennis, the USS Eisenhower, and the USS Enterprise. And what Ernie said is so relevant with regard to another USS Liberty type incident that could get us into a war with Iran, with Israel perhaps staging that. And I tried to warn against that on Press TV as well. If you go to tinyurl.com/James Morris, USS Liberty, it was an interview that I did where I tried to say that if the Stennis returns to the Persian Gulf, telling the Iranians not to attack her or any American ship, because that'll just give the Israel firsters here the excuse to go to war with Iran. And, we'll be in real trouble, obviously, there. It could be the next world war. But, Phil, Phil Restino, I wanted to commend you for the effort that you make to call into C-SPAN. I just heard another call of yours the other day. I mean, without you and Rachel and myself, when I can get through, Rachel Catran out in Los Angeles, I'm telling you, I mean, there wouldn't be any voices worthwhile listening to on C-SPAN. I mean, the people that call in are pretty oblivious to what is really happening with this war agenda. And, I agree with Phil also, Phil Tourney, of course, with what he was saying about Obama earlier, but then I agree with Phil Restino as well. I had a lady that has a national call-in radio show, and she sent me a direct message on Twitter asking me to call into the show. She's on Bill O'Reilly's Fox Neocon News Channel program often, and she represents the Democrat side or liberal side. And I'd sent her something about 9/11 and how our support for Israel got us attacked on 9/11 tragically, and earlier at the World Trade Center in 1993 as well. And she said, well, would you like to call into my program and talk about that? So I did. That was a couple days ago. And she said, well, you're an independent now. You said you're a former Republican. I said, that's true. I'm a Ron Paul supporter. And she said, well, who do you support between Romney and Obama now? And Phil and I have talked about that. Phil Tourney and I have talked about this. He's in a swing state in Colorado. It really doesn't matter for me. I can still write in Ron Paul, or you can vote for the Libertarian Gary Johnson, whatever you want to do. And it's not going to make much difference in California because it's a blue state, and Obama, is probably going to win the state. But in a state like Colorado, where Phil is based, this is a very interesting discussion because it's so close right now, and the independent voters are going to decide the election. And so I closed out by saying, well, I don't like everything Obama is doing, and I think Phil Restino touched upon that eloquently in the interview here prior. And I also don't like what he's doing with the NDAA. I just heard, we've got the latest news, and it's over at USHijacked.com too if you search for NDAA over there, that it was shot down by a federal judge, the military detention part of the NDAA. And guess what the Obama Justice Department does right after? Goes and files a request to appeal that decision. Now, this is the constitutional lawyer, Obama, who's supposed to be here, abiding by the, the Bill of Rights and all that. And, I mean, I said that on air with this lady, and I said it, and I closed out the call for this. Her name's Leslie Marshall. And I said, well, I think if it comes down to it, of course, I'm going to vote Ron Paul as a write-in here in California. But if I was in one of these swing states like Phil is in, and Phil is in Florida, I'd probably have to hold my nose and vote for Obama. Because the last thing that we want is Mitt Romney in there with this neocon cabal of advisors, some of the same advisors that pushed George Bush into the Iraq War via Dick Cheney, the Ginza Peanut crowd. So,
okay, let me break in here, James. When you said you had to hold your nose and vote for Obama, I'm in the same position, and I'll tell you why. Because of the position of what Romney told Netanyahu and what he said to him, and that's why Netanyahu is getting snubbed by Obama, so we have a feud here. But if Romney is elected president, you can guarantee, and this is in my view, you can guarantee that the Zionist agenda will become 10,000-fold what it was 2 months from now.
Exactly, Phil. Can't disagree, and that's what I conveyed on air to this Leslie Marshall lady. And like I said, she's on Bill O'Reilly's show on Fox Neocon News Channel often, and I said that, you know, we can't have Mitt Romney in there with his neocon advisors, Robert Kagan, and this AIPAC Israel Firster Dan Senior, who's on MSNBC almost on a daily basis on that Morning Joe program. And it was so interesting. You had that Paul Ryan making his speech, and Joe Scarborough, the host of Morning Joe, talks to him and says, that was a hell of a speech by Ryan. And Dan Senior is basically saying, oh, it wasn't Ryan, it was me. So this is what you have with Mitt Romney, like you say. We'd be at war with Iran yesterday. So we have to keep those same, or at least many of the same neocon advisors that George W. Bush had, out of the White House. Otherwise, like you said, Phil, we'll be at war with Iran. Now, let me just,
I have to disagree.
Well, let me just quickly make a quick point. I want to give it to Phil Restino. It's Phil's show here, of course, but I just want to make a quick point. Phil, in California, it's an Obama state. I mean, it's Democrat, it's a blue state, and if it goes Republican, Obama's in real trouble. So I can write in Ron Paul here. That's not a problem. But Phil Tourney, you have the issue to deal with there in Colorado with it being a swing state and being very close, and that's why I'd like to get Phil Restino's comments. Go ahead, Phil.
I have to disagree with the way we're looking at it, and this has been 100, 200 years of conditioning that we tend to look at everything in the context of the politics, the political parties. Again, our representative government has long since been taken from us. I mean, all of it, man. And,
I agree.
And here we are. I actually got through to C-SPAN this morning, and this was my comment. I said, because basically the Democrats repeat whatever they hear on MSNBC, and the Republican callers just repeat whatever they hear on, it's a bunch of repeaters.
On Fox.
Yeah, on Fox. So I really believe we have to step out and not hold our nose. We have to start being consistent, and we have to break this divide that's been manufactured. There's two political parties for a reason, to keep the people divided.
Well, Phil, it's a double-headed monster. I mean, I wanted to commend you on this too. I got an email this morning. Just a quick thing I want, real quick, Phil.
Sure.
Phil Restino had done a heck of a job with this Blood in the Water film. He had combined Loss of Liberty, I believe, with Dead in the Water, the BBC film that Ernie Gallo had mentioned in the last hour he has the rights to, from Dick Thompson, our mutual friend Dick Thompson, who produced it. And Phil Restino has been doing an excellent job getting that DVD out to people with Veterans for Peace there in Central Florida. And Eileen Fleming, according to what I just received on Facebook, I think it's the same message that Ron Kukal got. And I saw it at Twitter as well, at my No War for Israel Twitter account. And just go to twitter.com/No War for Israel. And anyway, she had, I guess, was at some meeting or event last night, I believe, or recently. And she had tried to give a copy, or had given a copy of Blood in the Water to Rand Paul and some other senators. And Rand Paul was the one who said, we can't focus on old news. Now, I mean, if that's not selling out to the pro-Israel lobby and those Christian evangelicals in Kentucky that he wants support from for the next election, I mean, what is it? Here's Rand Paul, and he was on, another example, and he was on the Aaron Burnett CNN show yesterday, and he was basically asked about cutting off foreign aid to Libya and Egypt, which he agreed with. And, of course, these Israel firsters in our news, put the next question, well, what about to our close ally Israel? And he says, well, I don't think we need to do that just yet. Israel's been there for us. And Rand Paul knows about the USS Liberty cover-up. He knows about it from my tweets to him. I've been in touch with him personally on email before he ran for the Senate. He knows about it. And yet he does not want to obviously offend, or apparently offend, those Christian evangelicals in Kentucky who will help put him in the Senate the next time. And just on this quickly, and I'll hand it back over to Phil Tourney. With regard to the political parties, I couldn't agree with you more, Phil Restino. Because the problem we have, I mean, the Founding Fathers were against them. I mean, they said that if you put political parties in here, they'll be corrupted, and remember Jefferson's famous...
Hang on, guys. We got to go to a break for RBN. Support your sponsors, and we'll be back on the other side and we'll finish out the last few minutes with the great discussion. So hang on, we'll be right back.
Are you concerned about fluoride, chlorine, parasites, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Dalton ceramic water filters have been made continuously since 1827 and are used by disaster relief organizations and in third world countries to supply safe drinking water. Not only do we offer gravity filter systems, but also under the sink and countertop systems. Our replacement filters can be used to upgrade your existing system. And unlike some other filters on the market, Dalton filters do not have to be primed. For more information, call us at 800-696-1435, 800-696-1435, or order online at Dalton.com. That's DOULTON.com.
Wouldn't you agree? Healthy people are happier and more productive. Obesity is the root cause of many health problems. Do you want to lose weight safely, look sexy and attractive without side effects and no chemicals? Lose weight without the side effects safely with Zeno's organic dietary supplements. Made in the USA, 100% USDA certified organic. Visit www.zenos.com. That's www.zenos.com. Try our products risk-free for a limited time offer. No purchase necessary. You only pay shipping and handling. Get your old, sexy body back now. Visit Zenos.com. Get your free supplements now. Visit Zenos.com right now. www.zenos.com. That's www.zenos.com.
Hey there, my name is Frank Bates. What I'm about to tell you in the next 60 seconds could get me in a lot of trouble. I just created a free video presentation at 123crooks.com that exposes the electricity monopolies and government agencies for what they really are. Incompetent, lying crooks that are counting on your ignorance and fear to keep your power bills criminally high. Some have called this a conspiracy. Others have called it a cover-up. And you'll be shocked to find out how deep the conspiracy goes. My video at 123crooks.com exposes the truth and shows you the secret of how I beat them and how you can beat them too. Watch the controversial video that thousands of other smart patriots have already seen in the last 3 months. Go to 123crooks.com and discover one weird trick to slash your power bill and protect your home. Go watch my video now at 123crooks.com before they force me to shut it down. 123crooks.com.
Well, finally, the officials back to Washington.
Welcome back, folks. Here we go. We just got a few minutes before the show ends, but I wanted to, bring this up real quick. And, I saw this on the internet, and then I researched it as much as I could about Israel still chasing the Nazis around the world, wherever they may be. And if you harbor them, you're going to get sanctions. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. You're going to get in trouble. Now, listen, folks. 34 of my shipmates were slaughtered aboard the USS Liberty. 174 others were wounded, including myself, and a ship was ruined. Now, how can Israel get by with their war crimes against the United States government and murder of American servicemen and an act of war against the United States of America, and then have the gall to say that if you're harboring anybody that was in the World War II, you're gonna pay the price. Now, come on, these guys are 100 years old. How many are left?
With you more, and I mean that's what I responded to Eileen with. I said there's no statute of limitations for murder, but the problem is what we've alluded to here earlier in the program and the whole entire broadcast is the influence of AIPAC. And I'm just going to make this quick point and sign off in case you have another caller that wants to get on. Thomas Jefferson had said that America has to have a revolution every 25 years. I don't know if it should be quite that often, but he was saying politicians get corrupt, and that's why the founding fathers were against political parties, and of course George Washington was against the passionate attachment for foreign countries, and of course that means what we have for Israel right now. And you can go to an excellent website, standforjustice.org, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see his farewell address conveying that. And lastly, do a Google search or Yahoo search for 9/11 motivation or 9/11 motive and McCain confronted, or go to the tinyrel.com/McCain confronted, and you'll see that excellent YouTube that friend Tom Murphy of Representative Press made, which includes myself and Phil Tourney, in that McCain confrontation YouTube with over 20,000 views. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks for the time.
Phil Restino, you're going to get the last. You're going to get the last word. Go ahead, sir.
I just want to thank you again, Phil and James. I do need to clarify the DVD that Blood in the Water. One of the fellas, Liberty fellas from out in Arizona, I think, had sent it to me, and I just copied it and distributed it, and I need to make an apology to the actual Liberty guys that I promised to send them to, Gene in Tennessee or Alabama or Georgia, and Larry Weaver down in Hawaii. It's 3 months, and they're still waiting for them, and my apologies. And also mention 2 other Veterans for Peace chapters that are doing commendable work in the cause of bringing justice for the liberties. And that's the San Diego chapter of Veterans for Peace, as well as the Greater Seattle chapter of Veterans for Peace.
And Phil, that's a great point, because friend Mike Schicky does excellent work down there. He's a brilliant photographer. And then also just 1.2 here.
And Eileen Fleming here in Florida has been amazing.
Here we go, folks. The end of the show. Thanks a lot for the lively discussion. Come back next Friday. We'll get into it again. We got a lot of great guests. Thank you, RBN. Thank you, John Statmiller. What a wonderful radio station. And thank you, Devin, for a great show. We'll see you all later. Take care.
Was it some sort of game of treason? Or was it just some kind of horrible lie?
Gold, ever climbing as the dollar continues to spiral into a free